Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of Digital Fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck is called Blackest Friday. Why? Because we're playing a mono black deck on Black Friday, and we have a whole bunch of little tricks up our sleeves. So many surprises that you don't see coming. One hit kills out of nowhere that is just sure to leave your opponent shook. And it kind of reminds me of Black Friday because it's like standing in line for that flat screen TV and then all of a sudden there weren't enough left and you didn't get yours and then a fight breaks out. You know how Black Friday goes. You never know what's going to happen. And with this deck, you never know what's going to happen. Your opponent definitely doesn't. It's crazy. We're using like every single one-turn kill combo in the same deck, but we're using a Demon Shell and we have a whole bunch of tricks up our sleeve. You have to see it to believe it. We'll break it down in just a second. Before we do, please like the video. Help me get the video out to more people. It means so much that you guys like the videos and help the channel to grow. I appreciate it so much. If you're new here, subscribe so you never miss an upload. Tons of wild shenanigans on the way, crazy deck techs, and spoilers are on the way as well. I don't want to say too much about that yet, but anyway, catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming, unless I got trampled in a Black Friday crowd, which is entirely possible. Nah, I'm not going out in that mess. I'm staying home. I'm playing Magic. I hope you do the same. Let's check out the deck. Welcome to the Blackest Friday of your life. We are profiting in huge ways off of mass consumption. Now, this deck at its core is kind of the demon tribal deck that you might have seen bopping around on the ranked ladder, a mono black version of that, but we have a bunch of twists and turns that take it in a little bit of a different direction, and some new cards we're trying out that I think makes it really cool. So at the core of the deck, we've got 4 unstable slashers. When they swing in and deal combat damage to the opponent will lose half their life rounded up, and we can combo that with our 4 Bloodletter of Aclazotz, which means if our opponent lose life during our turn, they lose twice that much life instead. So if we hit with a slasher while Bloodletter is out, they're going to lose half their life and then lose that same amount, so basically lose all of their life and then die. Everybody knows this combo, you've seen it everywhere, and it's a really good fit for Unholy Annex and the demon tribal concept, because Bloodletter is a demon, and Unholy Annex comes down for 3, allows you to draw a card at the end of your turn. You lose 2 life if you don't have a demon, but if you do have a demon, not only do you not lose that life, but you actually get to drain for 2, gain 2 life back, and make your opponent lose 2 life. And that happens at the end of every one of your turns, so it's an absolute value engine that just gets better if you have other ways to put demons on the board, so it's great with Bloodletter. Everybody has seen that combo everywhere on the ranked ladder as well. You can unlock the Ritual Chamber for 5 to give you a 6/6 flying demon as well, so it even has sort of a demon built in that you can get a little bit later in the game if they manage to take out your Bloodletter or you don't draw your Bloodletter in time. Where the deck starts to get crazy is in some of the nuance. First of all, we're using another new card. We're only running 1 copy right now, but Abyssal Harvester. 3 mana for a 3/2 Demon Warlock. You can tap it to exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types, and then exile all other nightmare tokens you control. So this can just tap to steal anything out of any graveyard, put it straight onto the battlefield. Technically it's a token, it's not the exact card, but it's functionally going to be the same as whatever you target with this. The one catch is it has to go there the same turn that you grab it. So it's really good with a lot of removal or discard effects. Not only that, but it counts as a demon. It's a 3 mana demon that can come down early and turn on our Unholy Annex. But how are we trying to fuel the Abyssal Harvester? With Cruelty of Gix. This is a card that people have kind of forgotten about. It's been in standard for like almost 3 years at this point. So I think most people have forgotten about it, but Chapter 1, you force an opponent to discard a Planeswalker or creature card of your choice. You get to look at their hand and pick which one. So if you pick a creature and put it into the yard, you can immediately tap your Abyssal Harvester to make a copy of it and get that value right away. And that's a really cool interaction and kind of puts this card a little bit above and beyond, but that's not really the reason we're playing it. Chapter 2, it allows us to tutor for any card we want and then lose 3 life. Since this deck is consistently able to turn on the Unholy Annex and be draining life from that, it's usually okay to pay a little bit of life for some of our effects if we're getting value off of it, because we can make it back with the Annex. In fact, if we want, we can use Chapter 2 to search up an Annex to play, to start draining for life and drawing even more cards if we want. But what's great about Chapter 2 is this is sort of a combo deck. We have a bunch of silver bullet combo pieces that we can tutor up with Chapter 2 so that if we have the other piece of the combo, we can just win outright. We basically took every automatic OTK win combo that's in black, that's in standard right now, and jammed them all into this deck. We're running consistent copies of Bloodletter and Unstable Slasher together as like the main combo, but we have a bunch of one-of copies that can easily be tutored up with Cruelty of Gix and another tutor that we're playing that I'll get to in just a little bit. I like running 2 copies of this because if you want the absolute crazy greedmonger value, you can use Chapter 2 to find another Cruelty of Gix and then start another chain all over again. And sometimes, if you just need insane card advantage against a control deck, that can be absolutely backbreaking. But then on Chapter 3, which sometimes you might just skip ahead to right away, you can just target any creature from any graveyard, put it back onto the battlefield under your control. So if they killed your Bloodletter, you can get your Bloodletter back. If they killed your Unstable Slasher, Unstoppable Slasher, you can get your Unstoppable Slasher back, or you can start taking their stuff. So when you look at everything this card is doing, different parts of this card synergize with different aspects of this deck at different times. And I think it's the perfect glue to hold the deck together. In addition to 2 copies of Cruelty of Gix as, you know, tutors, primarily we kind of want it as the tutor to find our silver bullet targets. We're also running 4 copies of Case of the Stashed Skeleton. This lets us get early pressure on the board, something they have to contend with, or else we're just gonna keep ticking down that clock and eventually get them closer to death, where some of our other damage dealers are going to be able to finish the job. So at some point they're going to have to kill the skeleton. Normally they don't think they have to deal with it right away. They let it get in for a few swings, but they very quickly realize that when the damage potential of the skeleton is stacked on top of the damage potential of the rest of the deck, it really does become a problem. So eventually they have to kill it, and when they do, this just turns into a tutor, which is perfect because we can find all of our silver bullet targets or whatever pieces of our combos we might be missing. We can find our 1 copy of Abyssal Harvester if we need it. We can do so much cool stuff with that. So I think Case of the Stashed Skeleton is actually a pretty good play here, as long as we can keep putting pressure on their life total to make that 2/1 menace creature actually relevant. But yeah, that gives us 4 tutors in addition to the 2 Cruelty of Gixes, so a total package of 6 tutors, which is plenty to find all of our random one-of combo pieces. So we have 1 Grievous Wound, comes into play as a 5-drop, and chance a player they can't gain life, so especially good if you're up against a life gain deck. Tutor this boy up, and it basically turns all of your creatures, all of your damage dealers into Unstoppable Slashers, because now anything that deals damage to the opponent is going to make them lose half their life rounded up. The only problem with this card is it doesn't give you any board presence the turn you play it. You play it and it's kind of a do nothing at first. So a lot of times you don't really have an opening to play this because you have to constantly keep up with your opponent's plays and their board state. So I think just 1 copy and having the ability to tutor up in games where it's actually going to make the difference and you can just win is the way to go. But I absolutely love having 1 copy in here because it just turns everything into unstoppable slashers. So as long as you have a Bloodletter out, anything that deals damage is going to win you the game if you grab the Grievous Wound. It's nuts. In addition, we're running 1 copy of Bloodthirsty Conqueror that we can tutor up, 5 mana for a 5/5 flying Death Touch. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So this is a good way to gain back life to fuel some of the things that are using life, especially if we went a number of turns drawing off the Annex without having a demon, and we've got our life total a little bit low. Something we can tutor up to save that situation, to start getting our life back. It's a big piece of board presence, a flyer that can contribute to closing out the game with evasive damage, but it's also a death touch creature, so it can block very problematic cards and keep you alive until you can get to your combos. So it does a lot of little negligible things that we really like, but the main reason it's in here is because it is another 1-turn kill combo with our other 1 copy of Enduring Tenacity. 4 mana for a 4/3 enchantment creature Snake Glimmer. If it dies as the creature version, it comes back as a non-creature version. So you still have access to the ability that's printed on the card, and that ability is whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So you guys have probably seen this combo around. If this thing is on the board, every time you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. But if you have Bloodthirsty Conqueror out as well, every single time they lose life, you gain that much life. So it just creates an infinite loop. All you have to do is gain 1 point of life or do at least 1 point of damage to the opponent, and it just creates an infinite loop, closes out the game, and you win. So the ability to tutor up these in the right scenarios, while also getting access to some life gain and some abilities to really stop problematic threats on the board with a big flying death toucher and stuff like that. A creature that when it dies is going to come back and get you extra value. Really cool tutor targets that in the right scenario can help you win the game with that 1-turn kill combo, but also provide a bunch of value along the way. Starting at the bottom of the curve, we've got 2 cut downs, 1 Virtue of Persistence, 1 Sheoldred's Edict, and 2 Go for the Throat as our 6-card removal package of early targeted removal, most of which being instant speed. I like splitting up the removal here with different cards, even if it is just one-ofs, because again, we do have tutors in this deck, so if we are in a pinch and have to tutor up removal, it's nice to sort of have some options. If they have something we can't target, like a Valgavoth, we can grab a Sheoldred's Edict. If they're playing aggro and we really need to kill something but also buff our life total, we can grab the Virtue of Persistence. If we just need to kill something at instant speed that's too big for like a Virtue of Persistence or a cut down, we can grab a Go for the Throat. So I like having that versatility since we do have access to tutors. We're also running 4 Deep-Cavern Bats along with 2 copies of Duress, and that's a 6-card package of things that can make sure we hit their hand, get problematic cards out of their hand early, so that we can start to see our game plan unfold without our opponent having some of those key ways to mess with our plan and with our combos, which is really, really nice. The Deep-Cavern Bat's also another way to swing in and gain a little bit of life every turn to offset some of the ways in which this deck loses life. And like we already pointed out, we've got 4 copies of Case of the Stash Skeleton to get that early aggro lead when it's right, depending on what kind of deck that we're up against, and then getting access to that tutor later. 3-drop slot, we've already talked about the 4 copies of Annex and the 4 copies of Unstoppable Slasher. We do have 1 Liliana of the Veil. This is another kind of piece of removal that just gives us a bunch of extra value tacked on, so we can play it, make them sacrifice a creature. If we don't need to, we can make them start to discard cards, and since we're probably drawing so much with the Unholy Annex, we can probably make them run out of cards, and we don't run out of cards, so Liliana can be kind of a value engine, but also a really important early play to get rid of some of their board presence as well. And then we've got one last combo piece, Rush of Dread. 3 mana sorcery with Spree. If we pay an extra 2 mana, we can make them lose half their life rounded up. If we do this while a Bloodletter is out, then again, just like with the Grievous Wound or the Unstoppable Slasher, we just force them to lose half their life and then lose that same amount, and they just die immediately. So there's multiple different ways we can combo with the Bloodletter, which is really cool. And so Bloodletter is going to have a big target on their back, but we have a bunch of ways to bring back stuff from the yard, either by tutoring up our 1 copy of Abyssal Harvester, or by Cruelty of Gix hitting Chapter 3. And we're drawing so many cards that we're actually consistently getting those cards or tutors to find those cards way more often than you would think, just because of all the card draw in the deck. So it's super, super easy to just keep a Bloodletter out and just get it back if it goes away, or just draw into another one. So the deck's kind of gnarly. I really, really like it. And since we are a monocolor deck, we're able to add some really interesting things into the mana base here. We're running 15 Swamps, 2 Mirrexes, which can give us black mana the turn that we play them. And then later on, we can pay 3, tap, and create a might token if we want. We're also running 2 Fountainports because we can start sacrificing those might tokens to draw cards. Or if we're in a pinch, we can create treasure tokens. We can create 1/1 blue fish creature tokens. Just get a little bit of extra value. But really being able to sack our tokens to draw cards is where we want to be at. Not only can we sack the tokens that are coming from our lands, but we can sack like the skeleton token from Case of the Stash Skeleton to not only draw a card, but also solve the case and get access to the tutor side of that, which is really, really nice. And then if we're super desperate, we can always just sacrifice the tokens that we create with Ritual Chamber. We probably never want to do that, but it is an option. At least it's there. And then we also have 2 Soulstone Sanctuaries. This land just taps for colorless mana, but you can pay 4 and it becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types. That's really important in this deck because we care about demons. If we have a demon on the field, Unholy Annex is going to drain for 2 instead of doing 2 damage to us, which is a huge, huge difference. So getting the opportunity to turn this into essentially a demon after our opponent has run out of removal and killed all of our other demons and all of our other creatures that are huge threats that they're going to have to use their removal on, then this just becomes a demon. And what's cool about it is it stays a creature forever. It's not like most man lands where it's just until end of turn. This is just a 3/3 vigilance demon forever. So if we can just keep this in play, if they're out of removal and we can keep them from drawing into more removal, this can just stay on the board for multiple turns and keep fueling the Annex. We keep draining, we keep drawing, and we get way, way ahead. And then we're running 3 copies of Sunken Citadel because we do have these 6 lands that require mana, a pretty decent amount of mana to function. Sunken Citadel can easily come down on turn 1, enters tapped, we choose black, and it can make black for anything we need, so it doesn't really hurt us too much as far as our black mana production and all of that. Coming down tap doesn't hurt us too much. The only thing we lose access to is a couple cutdowns and a couple duresses that we might want to play on turn 1. But more often than not, we'll either have a 1-drop to play or we'll have a Sunken Citadel. It's going to be pretty rare that we have the option of either or. So I don't see the Sunken Citadel messing with our curve all that much. But being able to tap it for 2 black mana to use to pay for abilities for our lands means we can much easier activate the Soulstone Sanctuary, turn it into a demon, or the Mirrex to get a token, or the Fountainport to sacrifice those tokens and draw cards, or some of the other versatility that Fountainport has access to. So I think the mana base is really cool. I think we can fit some extra value in there because we're in a monocolor deck, which feels really, really nice. And what better deck to play on Black Friday than a mono black deck that uses all of the OTK combos, just surprises coming out of nowhere, automatic wins that the opponent doesn't see coming. It's almost like going to Black Friday and trying to shop because you never know what's gonna happen at those damn events. So the deck's cool, the games were pretty awesome, so let's check them out. This looks okay. We have a decent curve, we have enough lands. We're going to keep this. We are going to keep it. Keep 7. Alright, play the swamp, pass the turn. He's got a Fear of Lost Teeth out. So when it dies, it can do a damage to whatever he wants. Maybe he'll be tempted to kill the Case of the Stash Skeleton. The actual skeleton token we make with it. That would be nice. If he doesn't kill it, we're winning the race. And if he does kill it, we get to turn on our Case of the Stash Skeleton, get it solved. Fear of Lost Teeth. Doing its thing. I mean, I really want to Abyssal Harvester. I don't think we care about Fear of Lost Teeth yet, right? Let's just get out the Harvester. So like, we're winning the race right now. And he has to shift gears and focus on killing the Harvester, which means we'll continue winning the race, most likely. Next turn we can Bloodletter, so if he kills our Harvester, there's a chance he doesn't have removal left for the Bloodletter. So the Harvester's kind of performing multiple functions right now, and all of them are a little bit tricky. None of them involve actually keeping the Abyssal Harvester. But if we do get to keep it, it's even better, right? We make him sack his Fear of Lost Teeth, and then we take it with the Harvester. Okay, he's gonna know where to run it. That's fine. We sort of expected that. So like I said, we're still gonna win the race. And does he have another play? Looks like he doesn't. So we're just gonna go Bloodletter here. And hope he's out of removal. He probably isn't. I'd say on average 2 removal spells in hand that cost, you know, 1 or 2 mana. Probably pretty normal, but I guess not. So he takes 4 because of the Bloodletter when we swing in with the skeleton here, which is nice. Does he have a way to kill the Bloodletter? Does he have a way to kill the Bloodletter? Okay, Deadly Cover-Up. It's not the worst thing ever, because we get rid of his creature and we get a little extra value turning on the case. It doesn't completely cancel out, but it a little bit cancels out. It cancels out a little bit. Gets us a little bit of extra value built in. So we're going to take some damage, draw some cards. We want a demon. It's too bad that Harvester went to the yard. We draw a land. We'll dump the Slasher. If we draw a land... Maybe we just make the demon. We did not draw a land. I think we're just gonna play another case and hold up instant speed removal and keep leveraging what we have. We need to turn on that Annex next turn for sure, though. Would you sack a non-token creature, please? Edict away your dude. We need a demon. We needs a demon. I don't feel comfortable jamming the Gix until we have a demon, because I don't want to skip chapter 2, but I also don't think we can handle losing the 3 life. I mean, we could just go straight to chapter 3. Get back a Preacher, or get back a Bloodletter, or get back a Harvester. Alright, let's go with Liliana.
Something suspicious is going on.
And we will attack.
It's not my fault.
See if he's silly enough to block. He probably won't. But if he does, we get to hold on to the cut down, lose the skeleton, and get another tutor online. Alright, so we will cut down the Hex Mage. And we will make you sacrifice the Preacher.
Our you go.
Alright, we draw an extra card. We're down to 10. We did get our swamp finally. So with a little bit of luck, we might be okay here. Hopeless Nightmare. We'll drop one of the Cruelty of Gixes. Not that I want to. But it makes sense to me. We need that demon. Hello, Yorch. Hello, Yorch. It's black on black. I guess we're in the festive spirit. All black all day. Nothing else. Come on, Yorch. Make a decision. I'm gonna give you the shrug. I'm gonna give you the shrug. You're about to get the whistle even. Are you about to get the whistle? I think you're about to get the whistle. Had to give that man the whistle. I had to do it. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. We'll do that. We shall do that. We really need a demon, but we also really need the Viper dead. So... kinda torn. I'm kinda torn. I think we just have to kill the Viper. And not play anything else so that Bandit's talent doesn't give him value. We're gonna discard. We're gonna dump the other Unholy Annex Ritual Chamber. Might have been smarter to keep it. You know what? Let's crack the case as well. We have to do that at sorcery speed. And let's find... We want demons. We need life really badly. Right? You know what? Let's just grab another Unholy Annex. I know we just dumped one, but I think it's right. So we'll solve the other case. We'll draw a card, take 2, go to 6, but he won't get to draw an extra card off of the talent. It's pretty close, but I think we can maybe pull this out. Alright, we'll dump the land. Go to 4. What do you got? What's that last card? What is it? A Spiteful Hex Mage. Well, I think we gotta do what we gotta do. You didn't level up the Bandit's talent? You must want to sack the Hopeless Nightmare? Interesting. Very interesting. Unlock you. We'll sack the Lily.
I'm done here. Fine.
It's
I know
worth
when
it
I'm not wanted.
to just make sure his board's clear. We're too low on life to take any risks. If he draws a piece of removal where he can sack the Cursed Roll token and kill our demon and then attack, that's way too close for comfort. So we're gonna drain, we're gonna get our health total buffed up just a little bit here, and we're gonna try to set up for next turn. In fact, we probably play the Bloodthirsty Conqueror just so we can start gaining life. Unless he kills our demon token. But he did put one on the top. So I'm willing to guess he probably kills our demon token here. He's probably going to top deck removal. Draw a card, lose a life. Another Bandit's Talent. I guess we get rid of the Annex Ritual Chamber again. I mean, if we need to play this for a demon for 5, I'd rather just play the Cruelty of Gix on Chapter 3 for 5 and get back a demon, like Bloodletter, and just do it that way. So even though this is worth more overall, this can kind of do what we need out of this that's most important, while also keeping the potential to tutor something up in addition. Although maybe it is right to just start double draining off of the other Annex. Maybe I should have gotten rid of the Cruelty. I think for sure we need to play the Conqueror next turn and try to gain some life. Alright, he does have the removal for the token. He goes to 1. But then he's dead. He's not dead to a drain because we don't have a demon, but he's dead to his own Phyrexian Arena. Ooh, that black greed got the best of you. Yowza, killed by his own arena. This actually looks pretty good. We have some early interaction. We have Annex or Slasher on 3, and we have 3 lands to do it. So we're absolutely going to keep this hand. 1000%. 1000%. Because we have this early interaction, I'm kind of hoping we're up against aggro this time. If we can actually play Virtue of Persistence on 2, gain some life, get rid of like a key prowess creature or something, that would be pretty strong. Alright, we're going to start with Swamp. More than likely we're going to have to go for the Throat at instant speed. Doesn't dump anything with the Archive. Interesting. Alright. He might have a counter spell. I'm going to play the Slasher because our card advantage over the course of the game is more important. If he does have a counter spell, it's probably a negate. But it feels weird that he would have held up a negate when we don't have any board presence yet. He doesn't have any board presence. Alright, he gives us a fish. That's fine. That's alright. Enduring Innocence. Alright, we have 4 lands. I think if we had exile removal, I would totally kill the Enduring Innocence, but since we don't, we're just gonna do that. No attacks. Draw a card, lose 2. Save the fish as a blocker. Homunculus Horde. What a card. What a card. That's not good. That's not good for us. That's gonna get really crazy. Really, really crazy. We could kill them both right now. I think we might have to. Kind of want to bait him, though. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to pass the turn. I want him to try and spend his mana to play something that's going to let him draw a card, and then in response, kill it. Yeah, see? That way it wasn't super good for him. Not like he wants it to be.
Knowledge is meant to be shared.
Ah, it's too big to cut down. It's too big to cut down. It is too big to cut down. Do we have to go for the throat? Maybe. Let's play out the Deep-Cavern Bat, look at his hand, before we decide what to do. Sunfall, Get Lost, and 2 Overlords. Forcing him to Sunfall might be good. We dump the Get Lost for sure. If we play Abyssal Harvester, he'll definitely Sunfall, right? And then we're safe to make our demon. We still have go for the throat up. Alright, let's try this. Because now he kind of has to Sunfall. If he lets us keep our Harvester, we can do some crazy stuff. Some really crazy stuff.
Nice to see a familiar face.
Swings 5, no blocks. Are you going to Sunfall? I think he's going to get greedy and try to keep his board. Yep. There he goes. There he goes. We're going to Cruelty of Gix. Chapter 1. Make him discard the Overlord. Then we're going to tap the Harvester. Make a copy of the Overlord. Seems pretty sick. And we've got Cut Down. I think we're going to hold it up for now. Pass the turn. We get to drain because we have Harvester. I think he kind of has to Sunfall now. Really surprised he did that before swinging. I kind of think he's a madman. I kind of think he's a madman. What you got for me? Nothing. You've got nothing for me. Doesn't even Sunfall. Bro doesn't even Sunfall. Let's cut down one of the flyers so we can get through at the Teferi. We have a lot of options here. We have a lot of options. A lot of options. So we need to think really hard. Bloodletter. So, let's try and set up for... We're gonna need, if he Sunfalls, we're gonna need demons, right? That's the big thing for us to worry about right now. Let's grab another Annex. We'll grab another Annex. And we're gonna go for the Throatus Flyer. Next to combat. Swing here. Here. Hold back a token. Okay, he exiles the 6/6. That's fine. So we kill the Teferi. We've got 4 mana left. I guess our best bet, since we have a Harvester here... I mean, if we could make him discard a creature, that would be so good. I don't think it's happening, though. Let's jam an Annex so that we can draw more cards and drain for more. We want to make sure we have a really good chance to come back after the Sunfall. Like, that's the primary focus right now. He's going to Sunfall, so let's make sure we can come back from it. But we also want to make sure he actually does Sunfall. If we block with everything, he might not. I think we actually take 10 here. We have so much card advantage. We have so much potential to combo out for a win. I don't think we get greedy. That's really surprising, so he's not going to Sunfall. That's really surprising. And if he is going to Sunfall... Okay, he's got Teferi. But he's got no one in the air.
Here I am.
I mean, that's lethal with Bloodletter. That's literally lethal with Bloodletter. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Alright. Because it's all in the air. So we swing for 14 in the air and win. And even if we didn't, we'd get to drain 8 with our Annexes. Heck yes. This hand actually looks pretty good. We'll keep it. It's a little bit land heavy, but we'll be able to make good use of it. Do we need the turn 1 Duress? Well, now that we have all this land, I think we do. I think we turn 1 Duress, get a look at his hand, get rid of the Bitter Triumph. What do we take with the... I guess probably the Mutt, right? Or maybe we take the Valgavoth so he can't discard the Valgavoth? That might be good. Oh, no, he's already gonna do it. He's on the play, so he gets to make a 2-drop before we can do a thing. That's kind of a bummer. We're gonna save the Virtue for the Valgavoth's Faithful, hopefully. Let's take the other Valgavoth's Faithful. Play it. Play it. Get overzealous. If he waits until he has 5 mana out, we can't really stop it. Okay. Good. That's what we needed. So. Good, good, good. Now we're going to play the Sunken Citadel. Choose black. And we will Locthwain Scorn, the Valgavoth's Faithful. And we'll swing in 1, gain some life. We're effectively keeping the race neutral without having to worry about trading. Oh, he had a Zombify. That's rough. That is rough. But he might get overzealous. If he swings with his Valgavoth, we win next turn. So let's see if he gets a little greedy here. Let's see if he gets greedy. No blocks. He did get greedy. Oh, so greedy. There's so many ways we could win here. So many ways. We'll win with the Grievous Wound. Good night. Bloodletter Grievous Wound combo gets us the win. This is a bit of a slow starting hand, but we are on the draw, so maybe we can draw into some interaction. You know what? I'm gonna be crazy and I'm gonna keep this. I think most of the time you put this back, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it and see if we can make it work. I'm curious to see if a hand like this can work out in the end. Another Sunken Citadel, sure. Black. Well, we'll have no problem powering up our lands, that's for sure. Lush Portico. Swamp. Annex. Start drawing cards, although we're going to start losing a lot of life. Really quick. Let's go with Fountainport. I could make a treasure token by just tapping both my Sunken Citadels, which is kind of cool. How do I want to do this? I guess we'll Deep-Cavern Bat and then just hold up the cut down. I don't love it, but it's okay. We'll grab the split up. So he's gonna play an Overlord. We'll probably cut down one of the flyers just to buy ourselves a little tempo. No, we should save it for 𝑍r. We should save it for 𝑍r, right? Yeah, we should save it for 𝑍r. Alright, we're gonna go Swamp. Alright. We're gonna slow roll this a bit. Could just make a demon here.
Those who get in my way tend
But
to regret it.
I'm gonna stem the damage a bit. We're gonna get rid of that creature. We're gonna pass the turn. And when he plays 𝑍r, we're gonna cut it down. We're gonna cut it down. Oh, off the beanstalk. I don't think that was correct. You want to play 𝑍r? Oh, he doesn't have the black. That's what it is. He doesn't have the black. Okay, well, we'll cut down this then. If he doesn't have the black, I just assumed he was holding onto a black land and trying to swerve me, but... Alright, let's go. We've got 6 mana. 6 mana is a lot. Let me think about what we can do here. If we can get a demon down, we can start draining. And we're at 14, so that's rough. But more importantly, I think the Overlord needs to go away. Or we at least need something to be able to block the Overlord. So Slasher has to come down. And then we don't have a demon, which is a little bit frustrating. Definitely not playing another Annex until we do. Let's see what that last card is. Nada. Alright, well, we will uptick.
Drop it.
7 mana next turn. Could that do anything? Not really. He's gonna discard his Forest, I assume. No attacks. We take 2, draw a card. Block and kill the Overlord, but then he's gonna have 4 flyers in the air. So we're really gonna have to make up for lost time here. Absolutely. Get lost my Slasher, sure. That's a lot. Swing at Lily. Do we take 6? I think yes. Things aren't looking great.
Nothing more.
I think we just had too many high cost things in our opening hand. Not enough interaction. Alright, we're gonna sack a token to draw a card. Play a swamp. Got 7 mana. They lose life, you gain that much life. 5, 6, 7. Don't think there's anything we can do that's good enough. 3, 4, 5. I think our best bet is put down another chump blocker with Deep-Cavern Bat. And make a demon so that we drain 2. I mean, the Conqueror would be really good, but I think we actually take more damage playing the Conqueror. So let's make the demon so that we can drain. No attacks. I don't think it's enough. We've got 3 blockers, right? So he's gonna get through. Yeah, it's gonna be 𝐒𝐫𝐞𝐧. Wait, no, we have lifelink. So I think we actually can survive here. Because of the lifelink. He'll probably play the split up and destroy all untapped creatures, right? Alright, so we're gonna do it like this. Still not great. We're not in great shape, but it's still possible. It is still possible. Overlord. Mirrex. That's 8 mana. So we could Ritual Chamber, Annex, drain for 4, go up to 6, and have 1 creature. That's not enough. We could Bloodthirsty Conqueror and have 3 left over to once again Annex, but that's still not enough. Yeah, no matter what we do, it's pretty much over here. So, we'll Ritual Chamber. We'll unlock the Unholy Annex. Oh, so close. So close. If we had had this 1 turn sooner, we would have had the combo and the 8 mana. We could have won that turn. We could have actually won that turn with the combo. We were just 1 turn off. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. So close. So close to pulling out the combo. Gnarly. 2 Mirrexes in our opening hand. That is awful. But otherwise, the rest of the hand actually looks pretty good. We're going to try it. I hate the whole Mirrex thing, but we'll try and make it work. Alright, so black with the Sunken Citadel. So we do have some extra mana to dump into Mirrex if we start making tokens with it. Insidious Roots, nice. Alright, we're going to go Swamp. I think we're going to get the case down first. Start putting pressure, start opening up the potential of this becoming a tutor as early as possible. We'll go Mirrex. I don't want this to start getting counters, right? So I think Deep-Cavern Bat cut down is the right call. Return a card, turn a permanent, Urborg Repossession, unseal the Necropolis. That actually seems pretty good in this deck. Let's dump the unseal Necropolis. And we'll attack with the skeleton. We're not going to cut down yet. We're going to wait until he tries to put a counter on it. Or until he attacks. Alright, so in response, we will cut down the Kami. Get out of here. That's a lot of Unholy Annexes. We're going to have to play the Bloodletter this turn because we're going to lose access to that 3rd black mana next turn. So we'll do it that way. Get in some extra damage. And let's see if we can just ride this to a quick victory here. Just Annex, Annex, Annex. Seems kind of crazy. Alright, he's got a bunch of dudes. And then Kami's coming down. Swamp. Annex. We'll attack with everything, including the skeleton. It's 10 damage if he doesn't block it. And then we drain for 2, which is another 4. So we want to kill the plant, I think. Because those are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Whereas the other guy's stuck being a 2/2. So we solve the case. We draw and drain. Put him at 5. Yeah, I think this is over. If he kills the Bloodletter, we can unlock Ritual Chamber to get another demon. And if he doesn't, we can just jam another Annex. It is so over. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.